for week 3? Anything? No? Did I call your name? No, I didn't. I'm just asking if there are any questions. All right, so, okay, cool beans. So let me pull over 2 folders right quick. Do I have the right folder? Yes, I have the right folder. All right, so this is my project folder. Ooh, 4 people in there. And so what I wanted to show you about the animal variety pack, because I'm not installing it from my library, one of the fastest ways to do things is to go folder to folder. So here it is. You're going to download it as a zip, you'll unzip it, put it somewhere. This is all the stuff that's in there. And so I've been working on everything in my OG2 folder. So I'm going to double click on OG2 and just copy this over. And so all of the textures, everything will be in the folder right here. So everything's here. So quick and dirty way. I don't want to play with that right now. We'll play with it later. Quick and dirty way to get some things done. And we will have to go back and define the skeleton, but we don't need to do it right now. Okay. So where are we starting? We're going to start with a mannequin. Once we get the code working, then we'll make a duplicate and change the mesh out to be one of the animals. Everybody understand what we're doing today? Give me a thumbs up, please. Yeah. All right, cool beans. So I'm going to stick in my blueprints folder. I'm going to stay in here. I'm going to right click and make a new folder and call it AI lead. So there's a few parts to this. We'll need like an AI controller. This is the start of behavior trees, which we will use heavily for enemies to tell them when to patrol, when to chase, when to attack. So I'm not going to rush. I'm going to move swiftly because I want to give you quote unquote dedicated time just in case you need to finish your other assignment. Okay. Depending on how well this goes, whether or not I run into issues or whatever, I may go over metahumans because the next project with the conversational AI deals only with metahumans. So, we'll see, one thing at a time. All right. So now that we're in this folder, we actually need to go down to make sure I'm recording one more time. All right. So we're going to go down to the third person character, go into the blueprint, and I'm going to right click and create a child from this blueprint class. And I'm going to just rename it BP AI lead. So original. Okay. And then I'm going to move it back into my folder. So maybe in the OG, I'll put it right here. I shouldn't have clicked on it. All right. So I'll move it here. Yeah, making sure I got the right one. So when I come back over here, I'm going to double click and go inside. And the reason why I made it a child of the original is because it assumes all of the movements. So you want that. The other thing I want to do is navigate to both, it's up to you, to one of the textures. So I'll come here and I'm going to make a duplicate of the material. Actually a material instance. So I'm gonna right click and make a material instance because I don't want to mess with the original. I want to make copies, and it's not literally copy and paste. So I'm gonna move that over into the same folder. Move here, and now when I double click on this, I can come to the base color and click on paint tint and just change the color of, I gravitate to purple. Lilac is my favorite color. Pink. I'm good in here. Change the color here so that it does not change the color of the main character. So I'll just save. And then what I want to do is go back over to my lead and just pull that over there. So now my character is something original. I put that in quotes. And so let's see, let's start to set up my scene. There we go. I'm going to, let me save all. I'm gonna put that character way over here. And rotate when I'm looking that way for the moment. Part one. And of course, y'all know I have my notes. I love my written notes so that if something goes wrong, I don't have to depend on a video and start scrubbing back and forth. What they say, what they do. I don't like doing that all the time. So just FYI, okay? All right. So the next thing that we need to do, let me see if I can start to frame up my screen a little bit better, is to create a controller. Now, this is the controller. It does exactly what it does. It's a blueprint that makes sure that the character knows what to do, how to move, when to move, that kind of stuff. So we're going to right click. We're going to go to blueprint. And then we're going to go to, oh, that's right. All right, so wrong way, wrong place. Sorry. Right click, go to this blueprint. And then down here in all classes, we're going to search for AI controller. And it'll be this one. And we'll hit select. And we'll name it AI COMP control. Control. There we go. All right, we'll get there. All right. So make sure you have like the, I don't know, I feel like it's a halo around the head, but make sure you have that. We're going to double click and look into it, and we are going to be at the top where it says self. Let's see. I think I need to be here. Sorry. Here, AI lead. And then we need to come over here and type in controller. This is where we need to change it. Now I will take a screenshot because I don't need y'all. And I feel like I'm a little off because I just ate. I'm like, what am I doing? It's okay. So we're going to change it to the AI controller that we just created, which is this one. Okay. So now the controller is assigned to the character and we are good to go. I'm going to compile, save in my little order of things, save all. So in order for the character to move around in the universe, we need a thing called a nav mesh bounds. Now, if most of y'all are over in the, which is crazy to me, the capstone course, you probably already know this, but I'm going to come over here and look up nav mesh. I'm going to click on nav mesh bounds, click and drag. And if you hit P, you can see where it's moving to. So this determines where the player can move. At this point, the way I have this, the player cannot be over here. That character cannot be over here, or that character. So you have to really think about where you want the player to move to. And it does think about collision. And eventually, what I think I want to do is have that character move all the way over here. but I'm just going to keep it in a small little confined space so that, and I don't know if all of this matters. I don't think it matters right now. I want the the character, sorry, to at least be able to go over here. I think that's what's in my brain. That's why I'm like, where do I want to go? Yeah. All right. So that is the nav mesh bounds. Again, if you don't want to see it, you just hit P. I like to keep it there so I can verify that I'm doing things in the right space. And then the other thing I think I want to do is to make sure that I have the character at the edge so that you're not, the camera, don't worry about the camera. It's going to do what it does. So it doesn't matter. If you look here, you can see that it's counting for rocks. We'll go over that later, but there is a way for you to account for rocks if you want them to go up a ramp or something like that. Right now, I just want the thing to work and move when I tell it to move. All right, what's next? So the next thing we need to do is try to figure out where we want the character to move to. So this is the way I like to do it is to come over here, and I'm just going to get an empty actor. And the empty actor will give me in the world the XYZ location, right? So if I put it over here, I've got the location. So I'll come back and use that later. All right, so now we're going to give this thing some intelligence. So we're going to right click. Okay, let me pause. Everybody good so far? Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
but we're going a little quick. Can you explain how you got the AI control again one more time?
yes, yes. So I right clicked and went to blueprint class, not the blueprint down here with the drop downs. That's why I was like, I mean, I guess you could go here, but I just stayed right here. And then I went down to search and it's AI controller. And then just click on AI controller and then hit select.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, do I need to go over where to put it in the character?
I think I remembered where you. Yeah, you should. Yeah, you probably
Okay.
should.
All right, so back in the blueprint, make sure you don't have the body selected or anything like that. Go up to the BP AI lead, make sure it says self. And then I went over here in the details panel and typed in control. And then I changed the AI controller class. That's the one you just created.
Gotcha.
Okay, cool beans. I have no problem going over that. All right, so now we're going to create the behavior tree. So we're going to right click and we're going to go down to artificial intelligence and we're going to create a behavior tree. And I'm going to click on that and we're going to name it BT for behavior tree underscore AI lead. I'm going to leave everything pretty consistent with the AI lead as the name of everything because when I get ready to do the animal, I'm just going to add anim or something simple like that. So also pay attention to look up the icons. That'll help you as well. So we're going to double click and go in there. Lost my window. Do this. There we go. Okay. So this is the behavior tree, and every behavior tree should have a blackboard. And then once we have a blackboard, we can start to set variables and conditions, very similar to what we've been doing in Blueprint. But I'm just going to go right here and click New Blackboard. And I'm just going to name it BB or Blackboard. And you don't see anything in here because it's only looking for a type Blackboard. But I'm going to go back to the AI lead. That's why I mentioned it. And they are automatically connected. So if I have my behavior tree here, I have my Blackboard. Had I not done it that way, I would have had to connect it, but you want to do it that way because you just keep it simple. That's what I do. Now, let me come down here and show you that there is a Blackboard here. So if you want to do it the hard way, you can right click and go to AI and go to Blackboard. And, I try to keep things as simple as possible. All right, so in the Blackboard, we need to create a vector. So let me save. So you know where you are. Clearly, I'm not in the Blackboard. I'm in the behavior tree. So it's okay. Just hit the Blackboard here. And then I'm going to create a new key. And it will be of type vector. And that will be where I put the location that from the XYZ from that empty actor. So that's what I'm creating. So I'll just do vector and I'm going to call it move to target. It is very important that you have the name correct because there's automatically a function that is called move to. You don't have to put move to target. You can say to target as long as you understand what you're putting in here. So don't get confused when you see move target, move to, because the move to target and move to, they're basically doing the same thing, but one is something that's automatically in the system. Okay. The other one is basically a variable that tells the player where to go. Does that make sense? I'm going to hit enter.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. It's a lot. I get it. All right. So I'm going to save and I'm going to go back to my behavior tree. So the root is like the top end of the state machine. I think that's the way I want to say it. And so now from the beginning of the state machine, we want to start to create the options. So I'm going to come here and drop down and I'm going to do a selector. A selector does exactly what you think it's going to do. It's going to allow you to select things. When the character is choosing what to select, we have to have conditions set, just like the Boolean condition. Do we have the key? If no, then don't do anything. If yes, then open the chest. Okay, that's exactly what we're doing here. It's just named differently, but the premise is the same. So we'll hit selector. All right, so let me talk to you about what we're going to do. The state machine for what we're setting up is essentially if the player is within a certain range of the character, the AI lead, should move towards the destination. Let me do it again, visually this time. If me, as the player, is within a certain range of this character, then this character is going to move closer to that empty actor, which will be our destination. If not, or otherwise, it will stand here and wait. Everybody got the state machine. If you're a coder, I'm sure you got that. All right, let somebody in. All right, so now that I've tried to show it, let's create it. So what we need to do from the selector is come out here and do a move. There's that move to. And over here, we're going to do a wait. Does that make sense now, everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we need to tell it or give it the condition in which it should move. So from the move sequence, we're going to, over here, we're going to add a condition. It's called a decorator. So I'm basically going to right click and add a decorator. I need to create it first. Let me go up here. So we're going to go up here to new decorator. All right. So when we get ready to add the decorator, we'll right click like I just did. I did my steps backwards, but first we need to create it. So we'll click here and do a new decorator and it'll be a BT decorator blueprint base. It's just a foundation. Okay. Let me be very clear. The condition we're about to create, new decorator, it'll be a blueprint base. All right. So I just call it DEC underscore player in range because that's what we're checking for. Name it things that make sense. Because otherwise, if I just put deck_AI lead and be like, all right, and it's doing what? It's checking what? So name it something that makes sense. So we're here now, and we're backing up basic blueprint. We're in the event graph. So basically what we want to do is go over here to the left, and on the functions override, we want to perform condition to check AI. So it's this one. All the others, we may look at it later, but this one is, we're checking, and we're checking constantly. I think it's almost every tick of the engine. All right, so we're going to stretch this out because all the stuff is going to come in between. All right, don't delete any of these notes. You need them all. So what we're going to do is from the pawn, we're going to get the distance. Get the distance to. What are we getting the distance to? Out of the other, yep, and it's going to be get from the player character. So get player, can't type, player character. All right, so specifically the player start, right? Us. So you're going to get that out of that. And then we're going to come out of the return value. This is where we determine the distance that it needs to evaluate. So we're going to do a less than. And I usually start at 1,000 and then I start to tweak. Some of that is based on how close do I want to be? It's based on my mood. It's based on the level scale. So we might end up tweaking this quite a few times just to make sure it's what we want. And of course, it's checking, so the return value should work just fine. We're going to compile and save. So I will have a screenshot of that. So no worries. All right. So I'm going to go back to the behavior tree. And now we're going to right click and add the decorator to the move to, and it'll be what I just created. So I just created the decorator player in range. Pay attention, it does not have my underscores and it did put spaces in between the words, but I just want to make sure you have the right one. Whatever you named, whatever you created, that's the one you want to choose. All right, we good so far? Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right, just making sure. All right, so there's, okay, good. Let's see, what else do we need to do? So the Blackboard key, we need the Blackboard key of the move to target. So that's, again, I have move to set here, and we're gonna come here to the Blackboard key, move to target. That is the one that we created. That'll be the vector. Now we haven't set that yet, but we'll do it in a minute. All right, what else? I think that this is going to be an issue. Let me wait and see because it may be a good teaching moment. Advanced. Yep. All right, everything here looks good. All right, so from the wait, it's currently waiting 5 seconds before it checks. I'm going to change this to 2 just because 5 seconds is a long time. I'm making sure, I'm pausing because I'm making sure that I didn't miss the step where I put the XYZ. All right,
Oh
so
yeah, I don't. Oh,
go ahead.
sorry.
Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, have we gotten the coordinates from the empty that we put in the level?
No, we haven't. We
Okay.
haven't. Yeah. All right, so compile and save, and then we're gonna go back into the AI controller. Just stay with me, y'all. And at this point, I'm leaving everything open up the top, so I don't have to come down and keep opening anything. So in the AI controller, we're going to run the behavior tree. So we're going to go to the event graph, and we are going to from event begin play, because we don't have like what we're accustomed to so far with the collision box, we're just going to go right here to the event begin play, and we're going to pull out and do a run behavior tree. And give me 1 second. I'll pull this out right quick. While we're doing this, I like to check and see what blueprints I already have up, just as reference, but to make sure I have the right things for y'all as well. Yeah, I see. I also see that something's in the wrong direction. So before I release this to y'all, I'm gonna double check everything. Yeah, because that'll be confusing. All right, so we'll run the behavior tree. The name of our behavior tree is, it's the only one here, BT AI lead. And then what we'll do is we will set the value as a vector, because now we're going to get the position of that empty actor. So I'm going to pull out of here and set value as vector. No, about to choose the wrong one. This might be a good place to do this. Got to do it again. Set value as vector. There it is. Uncheck the context menu to get the right one. And this is specific to the Blackboard. So that's the one we need. Yep. All right, so we'll connect this. And then what we need to do is also come out of here and get the Blackboard. So get Blackboard. Maybe if I spell it right. So we'll get the Blackboard. No, we won't. Let me go back. I think we have to turn this back on. All right, so let me do that again because there's a lot of Blackboard options. So the target here, make sure the context menu is back on and just type in Blackboard. And you can see here that there's an AI get Blackboard, use Blackboard. Because we're dealing with an AI controller, make sure to get this one, okay? So get Blackboard, that looks correct. And as you do more and more of this, you're gonna be like, wait, that's not right. That's not right. So you'll start to pay attention to what the functions look like. So the key name, we have to make a literal name. So type that in, make literal name. And then we're gonna go back to our Blackboard behavior tree. You can open up the Blackboard from here. And I'm going to click on this move to target. Now, as easy as it is to type this, I just feel like I just want to copy and paste it. So I'm going to copy the name to make sure I have it right, because if you misspell it, it's not going to work. And I'm just going to come in here and paste it in here. So we're literally making the name move to target. And then we're going to go get the XYZ. And in the past, I've been able to copy this. Let's see if it works. It may not. May have to do it one at a time. So I'm just going to select that empty actor and come over and right click and copy. And then come down here to vector value and try to paste. Nope. So that's okay. I'm just going to copy each one here. Some days it works, some days it doesn't. Copy, paste on the Y. Copy, paste on the Z. Doesn't look like my Y took my Z either. There it is. Copy, paste, enter. All right.
Can you go back to what you were saying about what you said in the Blackboard?
Which part? Make literal name, this one? Or this part? Or do you want me to do all of it?
No, the make literal name.
Yeah, okay. So because we set a variable in the Blackboard and it's called move to target, we want to make sure that we have it exactly the way it is over here in the Blackboard, right? So this function is looking for the variable in the Blackboard, and because, okay, in the Blackboard, we have a variable called move to target. When I go over to the behavior tree, we're telling it in the condition to move to target. You see that right here? You see both of those? This is the function and this is the variable that we created. So if it doesn't know what it's doing and where to go, then it won't work. So that's why we have to, because we defined in the behavior tree, and the Blackboard, think of them as like twins. They work together all the time, one twin power. If the behavior tree does not have this variable, or if it's incorrectly named, it won't work. And I can do it to show you. We'll do it where it works, and then we'll do it where it doesn't work, where I've changed the name. Okay? And I think that will be helpful. Is that good? All right. I keep collapsing these. Let's see. What else, what did I miss? All right, let's go see if it works. So we're gonna hit play. Okay.
It's working.
It's working, but it left me.
Oh, it's supposed to stop
It's
when you
supposed
leave
to,
range.
yeah. So it
I
left
see.
me. Yeah. Um, all right, so I know where it is. I have to go back and find where it is. I know what I saw it and I was like, what? There is, let me get my, I'm always collapsing my window and losing it. There it is. All right, so it's gonna be in the behavior tree. It's gonna be here. There was a note I have in my notes, so let me, and I need to make sure that I show this, because if you don't have it, it won't work. So I'm double checking everything at this point. Override. Yeah, and in my notes, my screenshots of the blueprint, I did not put it in there. So I have to make sure that y'all don't get frustrated. Okay. Yeah. All right. So here in the details panel, let me type in. There's an option in here. It's going to be to self. And I may have to pause to find it, but that's okay. Because I don't ignore restart self. I think this is it. If it's not, then I'm going to make sure I have it. So let me save and let's see what it does, because it may run away again. That's okay. I think by pausing and having these little breaks, we do better. Big old key. Yeah, that's not it. So give me a second. I'm going to pause the video because I don't need y'all. Oops, I'm glad. I was about to do all that talking and not record. Okay. Every time I came over here, I was looking for something specific, but I kept choosing the entire box. I need to choose the decorator itself. This observer aborts in the flow control is what I was looking for, and it needs to be changed to self, which means that it'll ignore itself, but it will pay attention to everything around it, even though it should be doing that. But let me just make sure that, oh, that's a great thing to see. All right, I think this will illustrate it really well. Do y'all see that?
Yeah.
So I'm outside of the range, so it's waiting every 2 seconds and it's checking every 2 seconds. When I go back into range, and this is why I said you may want to change or adjust the range. Now I did want to go back. Okay, so again, in order for it to stop, don't get frustrated. Just make sure you're not choosing the whole square. Choose the decorator itself. Okay. That's the condition. So let me go back over into, and you can change that. This is the number that determines how far away the player has to be before it moves. But this move to target, even if I just do like a 01 and I compile and save, I just wanted to bring this home. If it works, something's wrong. Yeah. So it doesn't, because it's not the same variable. It's like, what do you want me to do? I don't want to do anything. So I'll go back over. So that's why it's important to have that little name here. All right. And I'm going to compile, save, and verify that this works. I like it when stuff works. That makes me happy. Now verify. Yeah, that these are still working. And soon, if you decide to take the F off of picking up these coins, you can tell the coins to only be picked up by the player. So, because there was one level I did, and I was like, why are they picking it up? Because it's available to anyone. So, all right. Hooray. Hooray. I'm going to save all.
Is there a way we can pass in the actor, like the move target actor, so we don't have to change the location vector like every single time manually?
Well, it's paying attention to the collision of the space. What do you mean?
Let me pull it up. So
Okay.
in the is it the
The
AI controller?
controller? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when we set value as vector at the end,
Mm-hmm.
we manually entered the vector values from the empty that we put into the level. Can we just
So,
pass in the
nope,
empty? Or...
nope, because it's not in here. This is like the teleporter
Oh yeah.
where this only wants to be available outside of a local blueprint. Um, I will see though.
So we would have to put the empty like in the actual NPC BP, and then we
Yes,
could just
but
drag it
it's
around.
not the same. It's not the
Okay.
same coordinates. It's local to um this space.
The root of the BP.
Yep, and not the world space.
I see.
So what we could probably do is make a vector variable, add it in. And before we do it, let me verify. Vector variable, add it in, put it here. Hold on. I think I want to try it. You know, I like to try stuff before I give me 1 second. All right, so here is the assumption. Make a variable, call it location, and then do a vector, and then we'll bring it in and get it, and then put it in, we'll compile and save, and then we'll expose it, and then see, that's the thing, I don't have access to the controller other than because it's not a thing, right? The controller is not a thing.
Could we put a component on the AI controller and then in the construction script get or set the location vector to the location of that component
You
for the
could,
target?
yeah, you
I see.
could,
Okay.
yeah. I'm gonna undo though because I know this works. I don't feel like stuff breaking while I'm trying to
I
present.
understand. I understand. I just wanted to make sure I was on the right path.
Yeah,
'Cause,
you're on the right path. Yeah, that would be the other way to do it. I think exposing the variable, but again, it's almost like you would have to expose the variable here, right? In the blueprint, in the character.
Yeah.
And then point it to it. Um, I think that was something I wanted to show y'all.
Sorry, I took it off course, off track.
No. I'm thinking through a few things. Let me think through it. Let me get through this and then let me think through that. Okay, let's do an animal. Yeah, let's do that. All right. So all of that works. So the animal is pretty easy. I'm going to close all of this. And let's see. I'm going to I think I'm gonna do it all in here because it's all the same thing. So I'm gonna right click and make a duplicate of this character. Yeah, I'm just gonna make a duplicate and then I'm gonna add animal to it. And I think that's really all I need to do because all of the code is going to be the exact same, unless you want the character to go a different way, right? So we don't have to do that right now, but I think it's something good to do. We will do one last thing after we set up the animal. So let's get this done. So I'm going to double click. And what I really want to do is figure out what animal I want to use. There's a crow, there's a deer, fox, pig. I've always used a fox and a pig. I'm gonna use a wolf this time.
I have a question real quick.
Yep, go ahead.
In regards to the crow, does that come with like, flapping animations
It
and
comes
stuff?
should come with all of it.
As well.
Yeah. Yep. And the way we set up the animation blueprint for the character, which we're about to do, will be the same way you set it up for the crow. So what we do will be consistent for all. Okay. Let's see. So we need to come over here. Let me zoom in here. I'm gonna just change the mesh out. Select the body. Come here and do wolf. SK wolf is what I'm gonna use. And of course we need to do some stuff. And of course, okay, so a few things. There's no animation blueprint here. The texture is wrong. So we have to fix those things. And then we'll go back in and fix the animation blueprint. So let me move this down so we can see. So we're going to the wolf, going to the textures, not textures, we need materials. And I'm not doing all of these. I'm gonna do the default wolf. Wolf, hello, wolf. Hi. Hello, how you doing? Arg. Oh, please. Yeah, that should work. All right, wolf. Oh, I see. Okay, so the way I brought it in, usually I do import it from the library, which means everything will come over correctly. But because I didn't, we have to look at this. We have to go into all of this. Yay. I probably should have looked at it before I did anything. So now I've got to figure out what goes where. Me and Material Editor, we're not friends. So you see that we have this output. I'm going to choose to come back to that in a minute because it doesn't really matter to me at this point. I just need the thing to move. That's more important. So we'll come back in a minute. All right. So I know that the legs are broken. So we need to create a blend space. Let's also save. And I feel like the texture will be the icing on the cake after we're done. So it's okay. I'm going to come here, blueprint. And we'll go back into the AI lead. We'll bring the character in here, put him right there. And then we'll turn him around. You can't see him. Turn him this way. All right. So what we need to do for this character is to create a legacy blend space. So we're going to right click, go to animations. This will be true for all of the characters in this folder. All right. And then go to legacy down here at the bottom and then do a blend space 1D. And then we need to choose the wolf skeleton. And we'll call this pet blend space. And I'm going to automatically save. And then I'm going to go inside. All right. So I don't see anyone. Hello, wolf. All right. I'm going to keep setting up. It'll do its thing in a minute. I'm just thinking through and making sure I didn't miss any steps. One thing that I know we need to do. Let me go back to the blueprint because I'm just trying to double check. That mesh. Yep. Okay. Just making sure I was right. Pet blend space. And we need to. So we're going to go here. Horizontal axis. This is going to be a variable we need to carry with us. So we're going to call it speed. And we're going to change the maximum axis to 400. We don't need him going super slow, do we? No, we don't. All right, so we're going to hit that. And then I'm missing some things. Hold, please. This is the beauty of it. All right. So here, I don't have a preview mesh. This is where I want to find my wolf. And I don't see it. Preview mesh, animation, a lot of asset, default. Huh. Let's go look for it. So I need the skeletal mesh. That's what I'm looking for. So let's go get it. Where is it? Hello. Wolf. And then I want the meshes. That's the red. Oh, I must have missed a step. Let me see what step I missed. Because when I created it, oi, hola. Animation, legacy. Do y'all see what I'm going through? Yes.
Yeah.
Well, again, I'd rather it be with me doing it wrong. Do you know what I mean? And y'all not happy. Like, just skip that part. So I'm going to pause until I figure out what I've done. All right. I did not realize that I left out an entire process for the character lead. So I want to go over that right quick. So I'm going to go start out by being in the behavior tree. And what we want to do is to create a process by which the character will stop and look at you if you are too far away. So, it's not always going to be as smooth as we wanted to, but I think it's cool to have so that their back is not against us. How do they know when to, run after us? Well, it's after they stop and look. So we're going to start out by doing a new task, and we're going to call it a behavior tree task underscore look at. And inside of this, we are going to basically do an event receive execute AI. So receive execute AI, that is our event. And there's quite a few things. So we want to move to a component. So come out of here and do a move to component, move component to, sorry, got it backwards. All right. Move component to, and then there's quite a few things we need to get. The component will be from the controlled spawn. So we want to do the root. Let's see what this gives us. So we want to do the get root component of the character. Notice I've never done that before. I usually try to go in between, but this time I'll do it again. You do the control. Okay. I've already had 2 crashes since class, so there we go. From the control pawn to the component, and then it's asking us, what do you want me to get? And I'm just going to type in root. So it'll get the control pawn component, the root from the pawn that's running. And then we also need to get the actor's location. So out of the control pawn as well, we're going to get the actor's location. And then that will be the target relative location. And then depending on where we are, we need to find the look at rotation. So that's what's going to cause the character to turn from us, to turn around and look at us. So there's like a compare, once you see it, you'll get it. I'm going to copy this. And I'm also going to get the player character. I think we did that earlier. All right, so this is where we do the rotation. So we need to split the strut. We'll do that here under relative rotation. And we're specifically going into the Z or the yaw. Now we need to find the look at rotation. So out of here, we need to do find look at rotation. Move this out a little bit. And that is where it starts. And then it's looking for our player character. And that'll be the target that no matter where it's looking or what direction it's going, it's going to always turn around and look at our character. And then we'll pipe this. We need to split the strut here for the return value. Of course, you see the colors wrong. So we need to split the strut here. And then we'll go Z to Z. Let me see what else we need to do. Over time, 0.2 is really quick. So I'm going to do it at 1. I'll also do it ease in, ease out. Otherwise, it'll just snap right to us. And then what we want to do is finish the execute. So we'll come out of here and finish execute. And I think that is all for this. So I already have, make sure to put this on iCollege. We save everything, compile and save, everything's good. So the next thing we need to do is go back into the behavior tree. And there's something I want to look at because I'm going to just make sure I don't need to do a sequence. When we get over to the enemy, we'll be doing some sequences. So it's a possibility of coming here and doing a sequence. And the sequence will then decide if we do this or we do that, or we do one at a time. So I am gonna do this. I'm gonna delete this wait, and I'm gonna do a sequence, and we're gonna call it wait. And you could probably call it wait for character as well. But from that wait, I'm going to wait here. This is the purple one that we used. And then I'm going to call the BT, yeah, there it is, the look at. And then we're going to wait again. Now we're not going to wait for 5 seconds. We'll do 1 second this time. So 1 second here. 1 second here. And I'm not sure if I need to do a sequence. We'll know once we see. So I'll try to frame this up after I save it and see what it does or if it breaks. So we know if we need to do anything else. So I'll save it here. I'll save everything just because I've had a few crashes. And we'll hit play. All right, so you see the wait and the look at. So she's already looking at us. Wait and look. So we really don't need the second wait. She never does that. You see, she turns around. So I'm going to delete this wait and hit save and just run it one more time. So I'm glad you're able to see the selector and the sequence. It's a sequence of events. So that is all for the AI lead the human. The next short video I'm going to do is to walk through getting the animals in up from the free asset. I'm going to clean out this other asset out of my phone. It's about the animal, and I am just going to record it. I'll pause it if I run into issues, but I figure, you know, I have nothing to lose. So I'm going to go over to Fab. And I'm going to go to Animal Pack. And I'm going to change the price to only show free products. And I see this one. There's a low poly wolf. There's a giraffe and some other things. Oh, that's interesting. That's not what I want. So even though these are saved in my library, I think these are the ones giving me a hard time right now. So for all of us to be able to import this into our pack, that's what I'm going for, or into our map. So I'm going to click on this one, and I'm just going to tell it to add to my, it is not a thing. I just want to walk you through the process, okay? And what I don't know is if they come with animations. They are rigged. Yeah, I think I will look for just 1 second. All right, once you get over to Fab, just find you something you like. I would make sure um, that it has animations. I decided to go with these dragons. Don't ask why, but I see that I have these quadrupeds here as well. This could be kind of cool. I'll add these to my project too. It doesn't hurt me. Oh, here, might be an issue. Yeah, don't do this unless you, because my project's in 5.6, so I think there's a problem with version. So you don't want to do that. So I'm gonna just go with these dragons, just see what you have. In the end, it will not be a requirement. I'm hoping that you can find something that will work. If the dragons work, we'll know in 1 second. The low poly models can work if they are animated, but I do not want you to go buy anything. So the dragons should be in my level. Here they are. All right, I am going to jump right in and see if I can continue from where we left off earlier today with the AI lead. So like I was trying to do earlier, and hopefully you don't hear my fan, my office got real hot. I'm going to create a duplicate of the AI lead, and we'll do dragon here. And we'll double click and go inside. And then what we'll try to do, we'll choose the mesh and we'll type in dragon. And it will say nightmare. And all of a sudden we are off to a version of the races. That's awesome. All right. Feels disorienting for the moment, and I may end up scaling it. Let's go look at the other one. And of course, the textures are wrong. I'm not worried about that right now. Soul Eater. I'll just do this because I want something that can just run. Yeah, my orientation. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Soul Eater, and let me try to find that character's texture. So compile and save. And then I will go over to the dragons. Where's the Soul Eater? And let me get back in here. NSK. There it is. So I want to find the material. There's the material. And I'll go back in here and drag the right material. Hopefully y'all saw everything I just did. I just went to the model itself and found the material. And I should be good to go. Let's get out here and see it. Yep. So I'm good to go. And I'm going to go ahead and go back to my folder and drag this guy out here so I can see. I don't think I like the fact that his mouth is open, so let's keep looking. So dragon, and that's just me being picky at the moment. Let's see. That looks like it has to have like this I'll go back with the Soul Eater. Soul Eater. All right, and I will compile and save. We can deal with the other things later, but for now, while I'm in here, we're going to end up using the, let me try to frame this up really well for you. We're going to end up using the exact same controller so that it out the gate does the same thing. So I'm going to come here and I'm in the BP for the AI lead, and I'm going to look up controller. Again, y'all know I got a problem with my fingers and spelling. It's okay. Control. All right, so here's the key. I'm on the mesh. I need to be on the self. And there it is. And so I'm going to go get the one I did earlier, and I'll compile and save. And out the gate, this thing should do everything I need it to do. So let's come down here and let me frame this up right. We'll come over here, and what I don't like is that his mouth is open. Let's hit end and make sure he's on the ground. And let's do a 0.5. And I didn't get that 0.5 there. And I did 5. 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. Yeah, that's a little more doable, a lot more doable. And then what we'll do is we'll bring it over here and put it a little bit in front. I think we need to scale it down a little bit more, make it like really super cute. 0.25, 0.25, 0.25. That makes me happier. And I will save. And then I will also immediately hit play just to make sure that the thing moves. So because it's using the same code. All right, so it is not, because it should be sliding across the floor. So let's go figure out what is going on. There's a mobility of the thing. So let me go see. All right, I have racked my brain and I think I figured it out. This item is not movable. All right, so I was getting an error. I have no idea what was going on, because what it was telling me was that the capsule component was not movable. And if you come here and you look, it's set to movable. I literally offline had to go through static save, stationary save, and then go back to movable and save. And then once I did that, I came back in and the controller wasn't there. So the controller's here now. I have to be on this. It's here now. So I'm going to save again and drag it in. And before I do all of that scaling, I'm going to just make sure this guy moves. All right. So we have it moving. We'll go back down and make it a cute little baby size. And then I will also make sure we pull up and then hit end, make sure it's on the ground. We're going to put it over here and rotate it around. All right, so I'm going to go back as well and fix the texture. So I think the way I want to do that is go in here, find the model, double click this model, and find the texture. I'm just clicking on the folder, and that way I can go back here and get the right texture. All right, so that's looking better. So now we need to create the animation blueprint. This was what I was trying to do earlier. We had to do a blend space. So let's go do that. So I am going to right click and go to animation and legacy and do a blend space 1D, and it will be to the Soul Eater skeleton. That's the one I chose. And we will call this Soul Eater blend space. Ugh. All right. All right, so now we'll double click. And this was what I was missing earlier. I could not see the mesh. I could not see the animations. So now you can see it with it working. Over on the left, we want to go here to Asset Details, and up under Horizontal Axis, we want to name this Speed. And we want to change the speed to probably, I don't know, I'm going to do 400. You may have to take it down. And so the next thing we need to do is look for an idle animation and a run, and that's what's going to go down here. So let's go over here and search idle. These are all of the animations. Idle. So if I do an idle fly, I would need to do a move fly. So I'm just going to do this one. All right, so I'm going to take this idle. Let me see what they have up under forward. Because we want to do forward. There's a fly forward and a fly fast. So the idle, I might want to do the hover. So I'm going to drag the idle here. And then for the forward, because he's not running, I can put it at the end. And then I think it's control. That's the way, so this is the way he would move. I don't know that I like that. Let's hold down control. Select that one and delete. Select this one and move over. Hold down control to scrub through. I just don't like that. Let's see, what else? Fly idle, get hit, run animation. That could be interesting. Let's put the run animation. This may mean that I want to I like that. I'm gonna click this and move this over here. Then I'm gonna go back to that on the ground idle. So I'll move the on the ground idle here and move this one, delete this one out. And now I'm gonna hold down control so I can see the whole thing. So that's the idle and this is the way he would move. All right, I like that. So I'm going to save it and we're gonna make an animation blueprint. So I'm gonna close that and then we're gonna go to right click animation and animation blueprint. And we're gonna call this, oh, gotta choose the Soul Eater skeleton again. Create. And we're gonna call this ABP underscore Soul Eater. That'll be fine. We'll double click and let's see what we need to do in here. So over here in the asset browser, we need to search for the blend space that we just created. So blend, that's the Soul Eater blend space we just created. And we'll pull that out here. See, it came with speed for us. We need to right click on speed and promote it to a variable. So now it's down here. And let's zoom out. Let's see. And then this is in the anim graph. We haven't done much in the anim graph yet. But I do want to connect. I think we need to connect that to the result. But let's hold tight for a second. Let's file and save. And then what we want to do is go to the event graph. And this is where we have to do all of the stuff. All right, let me go back to the anim graph. This is all we need. We just need to be able to pipe this in and we should be able to compile and save. And even if that's exactly what we wanted. So he's moving, that's the key. So I'm gonna save again and go back to the animation graph and let me get this spread out. So we already, the only thing we need to do out of this is to grab the speed. That's what that we're concerned about right now, because when it stops and when it starts, it needs to know. So we're gonna come out here and set the speed because we're gonna change it. So we're gonna put that in. And we're going to get the velocity and then the vector range to the try get pawn armor. I don't know why I said pawn, but we're going to pull this out and get the vector, get velocity, how fast it's going, the velocity. And then we're also going to get the vector length, vector length. It's this one. And then that will determine how fast the speed goes. All right, I'm going to compile and save. And I don't see that I've missed anything. Everything looks good. So what we now need to do, we'll close that. We'll go back into the blueprint. And we need to change his animation blueprint. Make sure you're not doing animation asset. We need to do the animation blueprint. And it needs to be the Soul Eater. So blueprint, that looks awesome. Compile and save. And now when we run towards, he should be moving and not sliding. He looks like he's sliding just a little bit, but I'll take his little legs moving. Oh, collision issue. I'll take his little legs moving any day. So that is essentially how we're going to do. I mean, it's not that bad. That's how we do the animal. And then you can decide what you want. I think there's some sliding that's going on, but this is better than what we did earlier. So I'll stop it here and post it. I'm not sure how the other video didn't complete, but I'm gonna walk through this really quickly with the animal. So we'll just do another one. So we'll come in here to blueprint and we'll go to AI lead, and I'll just make a duplicate of the soul eater. So right click and duplicate, and oh, that's the blend space. Sorry, got the wrong one. Delete. Here we go. Right click, duplicate, and I'm just gonna leave it there. And we'll double click and go inside, and we'll figure out what dragon we want to use. I'm just gonna stick with the dragons, and I'll come here to mesh. And we'll type in dragon. Let's see, nightmare. Nightmare, it looks like something's wrong with him. All right, so we'll go with nightmare right now. We'll compile, we'll save. We'll bring nightmare into the level. There's nightmare, he's huge. And before I do all that work, I will make sure that nightmare is moving. Nightmare is moving, so good. Don't need to go any further. We stop, we double click, and we will, I need to scale nightmare in the level itself. All right, verifying everything. And we'll then go take care of this 0.25, the texture. All right, so nightmare is now small and cute. Lift them up and hit the end key to get them on the ground. And we'll compile and save. And then what I want to do is go get the right texture. So I'm going to make sure I do this. I'm going to click the folder, and it takes me to the character. And double click. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing here to get the right texture. So I'll go back over here and do this. And there's these others. Maybe instead of me doing that, I'll make him a green. Nope, let's do blue. Yeah, I like the blue. So we'll compile and save. And so he has the correct texture. And then I'll save all. And then I will go back to my blueprints and we'll do the blend space for nightmare. Okay, so we'll right click, go to animation, go to legacy, go to blend space, and we will look up nightmare, dragon skeleton, and we will call this nightmare blend space. Yeah. Blend space, and we'll save all. And then we'll go in here. Under horizontal, we need to change the name to speed. And then we'll look at, I always start with the idle animation. I don't know. I'm just gonna drag it out here. All right, I see what that one looks like. And let me see what this one looks like. I like the other one. So we'll do this one and take it all the way over here. And then let's do a run animation, put it over here and hold down control. Yeah, no. So it's either run or let's do walk. It'll be this one. I like that because it's slower. The only other one I want to look at is a forward. Okay, so it would be the walk animation. Yeah, I like that. And it's, I think I'm gonna change it to 200 here. So we will save it. And then we need to do the animation blueprint. So we will right click and animation blueprint, and we will do it for nightmare skeleton. And we will name it ABP Nightmare. All right, and then save all. We'll double click here and we'll come over here and look for the blend space. And you drag it out. And then we'll promote this to a variable. And then we'll do this. And all is well. Let's see. Yep. That doesn't look right. So I'm going to go back to the blend space. Let's see. Yeah, it didn't go all the way out. So I'm just going to pull it all the way out and save. See if this edits. Yep, it's edited. Okay, and then we'll go to the event graph. And then we will, because we promoted that speech variable, we'll set it. Get it and set it. We'll get the velocity, and then we'll get the vector length. And then we'll plug it in and we'll compile and save. And then we'll go back to the blueprint. It'll be this one. And this is where we set up the nightmare. Here it is. Nightmare, and compile and save. And then we will come here and hit P. And we will let our pets take us where we need to go. So he has the same issue. He has a similar issue. All right, let me show you how to do this because let's see, mobility. All right, I'm going to delete this and go back here. Although the mesh says it's movable, this capsule, I had to do this, save it and compile, and then come to stationary, save and compile, and then go to movable. It needs to be movable, save and compile. And I know we saw him moving earlier. I'm not sure what's happening, but I hope that that fixed it. And of course, I got to scale it down again. And lift it up and drop it down. And let's see what he does now. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, he could be a little bit faster. That's just me changing the speed, but at least he's moving. That was a lot better than the previous video. I'm gonna leave both of them up, just in case you want to hear about all my drama and issues. But other than that, just use this one.